I just experienced my greatest fear. I had a technical failure. The reason it's my greatest fear is I have this dream that I will always be more technologically savvy than my child. And I already see that as a failure because I'm Google changed some things. It's been a while since I did a Google live video stream event, and I failed. I didn't recognize what the hell was going on. I was just like, why aren't things the way they used to be? Why can't I do this? And I got very frustrated, and I failed epically, and I was really embarrassed. But maybe I'm just getting old. But the reason I wanted to have a live event is because I wanted to have a conversation with some Christians who I've been conversing with. Mostly them saying what they think and me telling them, no, I don't think so. So I wanted a more direct interaction where they could tell me what they think and I could more directly tell them, I don't think so. Because, as an atheist, I enjoy doing that. That's part of my pleasure in life, is telling people who say God is real that, I don't think so. I don't think God is real. Jesus is real. I don't think so. Jesus, not so real to me. And it's. I don't want to say I get off on that, but I don't watch television. I have conversations with people who tell me God and Jesus are real, and I tell them why I don't think they are. And they get very frustrated with me, and I get very amused by their frustration, to be quite honest. I'm entertained by people getting frustrated that I don't believe them when they tell me God is real and Jesus is real. Like Jesus. Yeah, there may have been some guy named Jesus. There's lots of guys named Jesus now. My nephew's name is Jesus. He's Mexican. And it's not Jesus, it's Jesus. Because most Mexicans are Catholic, but he's Christian. So he's Jesus. And I find this very amusing because, what would Jesus do? I'll just ask my nephew. Anyhow, so I'm embarrassed that I failed epically at this Google Hangout. I'm out of practice. I'm unfamiliar with changes that Google has made because Google has made so many freaking changes. It's just stupid. And here's one of the things that Google has done. They've demonetized all my videos, even though they're still running ads. And I've noticed this on several other atheist videos. Google is running Christian ads on atheist videos, which is hysterical to me. I don't know if they're trying to capture, atheists and try to convince them, or if they think Christians are watching these. It's hysterical to me that on all the atheist videos, Google is running basically religious ads, which is it's just nutty. It's funny to me. So I want to have conversations with Christians because I find it very entertaining. And I do it on Twitter quite a bit, and I do it on Facebook quite a bit, and I do it on Google, not so much anymore, because I'm cyclical in whatever social media platform, and I'm kind of pissed off with Google because they keep changing shit, and it used to be real easy, now it's not so much. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just out of practice. But as a Christian, if you're a Christian, would you like to have a conversation with me? A real live atheist? I know there's lots of us around that you can converse with, but maybe not so many that are quite as animated as I am or enthusiastic. I really enjoy conversing with Christians. I don't know why. It's entertaining to me. Maybe it shouldn't be entertaining to me. But when somebody tells me God is real, and I listen to, not so much anymore, but I listen to a lot of atheist podcasts. And I listen to a lot of Christian videos. and I get riled up. I'm like, no, that's so wrong. Because it is entertaining to me to hear people explain why the Bible is true. And I just want to shine a big light on it and say, do you understand how crazy that sounds? David Smalley does a very good job of pointing that out to people, even though the people he tells that to don't just over their heads. They're just, I don't know what you're talking about, David Smalley. The Bible is perfectly rationally clear that it is all very, very true. That's how I see it. People who think the Bible makes sense, they have decided God is real. Therefore, a talking snake or a talking donkey or birds or bats being birds is all perfectly rational because all things are possible with God. So they've decided God is real, therefore everything's possible. Case closed. The Bible makes rational sense if God is real. It really doesn't. But here's the thing. If God is real, but if God isn't real, the Bible is cuckoo nonsense. The Bible only makes sense as a work of complete fiction. The Bible only makes sense in the same way the Harry Potter books make sense. If God is real and anything is possible, anything, I mean literally anything is possible, then sure, the Bible makes sense. But you have to accept that anything is possible. Anything is possible. Do you want to live in a world where anything is possible? Because the Bible, God turns a woman into a pillar of salt, talking donkeys, talking snakes, a flood that wipes out all of humanity and all life on earth except for what fits on a boat, which they survive enclosed with a small window for a year. That's the reality that you want to live in? All things are possible? It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, to believe that a God is real, the mental, logical hoops, you must leap the firing, flaming hoops of logic that you have to jump through to believe that God is real. It's beyond my ability. God, we're already 8 minutes. I just want people to be reasonable. And most Christians are, in fact, reasonable. Because most Christians just say, I believe because I want to believe, because it makes me feel good. And I can accept that. I can accept that logic. I can accept that reasoning. I can accept that. But those Christians who tell me God is absolutely real and God has a plan and I know what God's plan is and I know what God is thinking. I know God's mind. It's all very clear to me and I know God is real. Those people are cuckoo to me because it's the creator of the universe. For a human being to say, I know what the creator of the universe is thinking. Doesn't that sound arrogant? And here's another thing. So many Christians and other theists say, atheists, you're so arrogant. You're so arrogant. You just think you know everything. Is it arrogant to say, I don't believe you? Is that arrogant? Or is it arrogant to say, God is real and I know absolutely positively God is real and God has a plan and you're going to go to hell if you don't believe it? Which one's arrogant? Knowing God is real and that you know the plan of God, the creator of the universe, and that if you don't believe in God that you're going to go to hell? Or is it arrogant to say, God, I don't know. Which is more arrogant? Really. For people to say atheists are arrogant just seems obtuse. I mean, you just have to be stupid to say atheists are arrogant. To say, you don't believe. You're so arrogant that you don't believe. Because you're so sure. No, atheists are not sure. Atheists find no reason to believe that there's a God. Are we sure? By no means, no. Some say they're sure, but I mean, like me, I'd say, the God you believe in, I'm sure does not exist. I'm sure the God you believe in is only in your head. You and the other billions of people each have your own individual little God that's in your head, that is individual to you and exists in no one else's head. Sure, there are similarities, but no two people who have ever existed have believed in exactly the same God, because you will never find two people who will agree to 100% the details about their God. Because, God is a creation of man's mind. So each person believes their individual God is real, and that God conforms with their experience and perceptions and opinions. Because you'll notice that God always agrees with the feelings and opinions of those who believe in it. And how many Christians have ever said, those are not true Christians? And they are correct, because there's only one true Christian. Some would say Jesus. I say everyone who's a Christian is a true Christian, because they are the only single true Christian. Because every single Christian is the only single true Christian, because in their head they are the true Christian and everybody else is wrong. Thank you for sticking with me this long, because I know I'm rambling, but I love my daughter. My daughter's just a wonderful kid, and I don't want to be surpassed technologically by her. I always want to be one step ahead. I want to know technology a little bit better than my daughter, than my child. Is that so wrong? Is it so wrong not to be my father, who's technologically oblivious, who asks me the same questions over and over again? How do you send an email again? I don't want to be that parent. And I do want to be the parent that always is like, oh, I know how to do that. But reality has hit me, and it's tough. Reality is a tough thing. But not as tough as being an atheist, because being an atheist is difficult in this world, because people seem to think atheist has something wrong with them. But then again, atheists think everyone else has something wrong with them. People can believe what they want to believe. Let's get down to brass taxes, shall we? And we are here at almost 13 minutes. Let's get down to brass taxes on my opinion about religion. A guy I know on Twitter said it very well. He said he didn't like sports, and I said I don't like sports either. But religion is like sports, okay? Wait me out. Sports are fine. Pro sports are terrible. Pro sports, you're pouring money into people playing. They give a guy playing basketball millions of dollars to play basketball. Why? Because it brings in a lot of money. They pay a preacher lots of money because it brings in money. Religion and sports are very similar. I don't mind sports when they are playing football in the backyard. Those are sports I can agree with. And religion is the same way. If you're practicing religion at home or a small church or congregation, I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem with the big ones. I have a problem with the professional sports and the professional religions that dictate that they should get special treatment, that dictate that they're not going to pay taxes, that dictate... I don't have a problem with religion. I have a problem with people who think God is real. Now, I know you say that ties in directly with religion, but it doesn't have to. And I don't mean the everyday, oh, of course God is real. I'm talking about people who are adamant. The professional preachers who are saying, God is real, give us money, or you're going to hell. Or, God's blessing on you, or whatever kind of bullshit they pull. That is the religion I hate. And that's when I feel I need to stop. And I'm sorry, people can believe whatever they want to believe. Just don't pass it on to your kids. Let your kids just explore religion on their own. They'll figure it out. I've had people say, I was raised an atheist, now I'm a Christian. Well, they weren't raised an atheist. They were raised not to believe in religion because they weren't exposed. And then they were exposed and suckered in. My child is very exposed to religion, therefore I believe she's going to be an atheist. Religion is poisonous. Religion is detrimental. Religion is not a good thing. It may have been in the past, but it is not now. We should be over religion. But mostly we should be over believing that gods are real. We should be over the mythology of gods. There have been thousands of gods. We all know about the Greek gods and the Roman gods and the Egyptian gods, or even Celtic gods and Polynesian gods. We know about the thousands upon thousands of gods. And yet there are people who choose to believe that their specific God is still real. They accept that all the other gods are mythology, but their God is still real. Seriously? See, it just seems insane to me. They accept all these other gods are made up, and yet they still delude themselves into believing that their particular God is real. While at the same time, the Christians saying our God is real, the Muslim God is just made up, and the Hindu gods are just cuckoo crazy. While the Muslims and the Hindus are saying the Christians are crazy. I mean, the Christians are so bad, and yes, the Christians are horrible. The Christians are so bad that the other Christians, they call cults. I mean, I don't know how many Christians call, well, Mormons are always cults, and the Jehovah's Witnesses are always cults. But even the Protestants and the Lutherans and the Baptists, one Christian group will call another Christian group a cult. But if an atheist calls them a cult, oh, that's them fighting words. Yeah, why we call them a cult? Look up the definition of a cult. In fact, I will go as far as calling Christianity a death cult. Christians worship a dead guy and worship the fact that he was tortured and murdered. If that's not a death cult, because a cult is somebody who worships a religious figure, typically alive, but Jesus. Christianity is a cult. More specifically, it is a death cult. I'm sorry, it just is. The only difference between a cult and religion is the number of people who buy into the bullshit. When it's a dozen people, it's a cult. When it's millions of people, it's a religion. But it's the same goddamn thing. And, why would I say goddamn if I don't believe in God? Because goddamn sounds good. So does Jesus fucking Christ. It also makes a nice visual. Well, if you're gay. If you're not gay, then it's a funny visual. I'm Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and if you kept with me this long, I truly do appreciate it. I hope you found some amount of entertaining. If you had shown up for my Google Hangout, I apologize for my epic failure. It's a hell of a thing getting old, losing your mind, and things changing on you, and you can't adapt fast enough. It's terrible. Don't do it. Never change, but change. Anyways, I'll catch you next time.